My name is Bob Peterson, Robert Peterson, and I served on the Orleck from August of 1949 till March of 1952. I joined at 18 and I was in the peacetime Navy, and then we went to Korea. We were assigned to the 7th Fleet, Task Force 95. I was a member, our ship was the part of Destroyer Division 11, and we operated with the task force, and our duties were to perform a sonar screen, searching for submarines or enemy ships, and then we also served as plane guards behind the carrier. In case there was an accident involving a plane, we could try to rescue the pilot. We also served along the west coast of Korea, and we hunted for targets of opportunity, which consisted of trucks, troops, trains, anything that moved, and we were vicious. We killed 2 trains, and then we were sent to Wonhon Harbor. It was about the size of San Francisco Bay, and we were accompanied by another ship, the Parks. We anchored in the harbor. Our job was to protect an LST that had helicopters. We were advised there was going to be something coming up on May the 1st, which is the Communist May Day, or their 4th of July compared to the Americans. So about April the 29th, at dusk, I was on the fire control mount up above the bridge, and I was taking a picture of the sunset. And all of a sudden, there was a beautiful water geyser right above the sunset, and it flew up. And then I heard the report, and it was a loud report, and it was a cannon fire. I went down the ladder and went into the bridge. Ensign Quinn was on the klaxon that rang for general quarters, and he was also on the loudspeaker notifying the ship was going to general quarters. And I headed towards my general quarters station, which was Lower Sound, as I was a sonarman, and that was my general quarters station. I was halfway down the ladder when the captain came out of his cabin and up the ladder, and he said, "Peterson, you're going to be my talker." So I grabbed the sound power zones on the bridge and heard everyone reporting that their general quarters station was manned, and I reported that to the captain. And then a report came from the forecastle, and it was from the chief, and he said that there was no electricity on the anchor winch, and that's required. If you want to raise the anchor, you had to have power. And I reported that to the captain, and he told me to get the electrician forward to the forecastle so that they could raise the anchor. And as the shells started coming closer and closer, the captain put the ship into back half and then back 3/4 with no results from moving the anchor. And the shells started walking in closer. And the third time that the forecastle had requested that the pelican hook be that we would free the anchor from the ship, I asked the captain, and he denied that. And as I said, permission, number 2 mount went off with both, and the chief on the forecastle hit the pelican hook that released the chain from, and the chain started feeding out through the hawser. And he went down the forward hatch because he knew that the chain would come out and it would be vicious. It took about 30 feet of lifeline off the starboard side and sucked it right down through the bullnose. And at that point, the Orleck was free, but the Parks was coming up behind us, and it missed our ship by at least 50 feet. And then we started firing at the field pieces that the Chinese had dug into caves around there. And we fired for about 2.5 hours. And at the end of it, there was no more return fire from them. So we ceased fire, and there was about 2 to 3 feet of shell casings lying on the ground. And at that point, I knew that Bob Peterson was not in the peacetime Navy anymore, but it was a war, because they were shooting at us and we were shooting at them. So our police action in Korea consisted of, that was the start of it, and then we proceeded with it, and finally we were free and sent back to San Diego at the end of 1951.